I am going to walk through the steps to show you how to form an LLC and file an EIN number, or file for an EIN number that you will receive from the IRS. That's right. I'm going to walk through the steps that you will need to formally have an LLC, a limited liability company that has an EIN number with the IRS. Literally, the first sentence says, use this tool to get an EIN number directly from the IRS in minutes for free. So be leery of companies that charge large amounts of money, charge thousands of dollars to form your LLC and get you an EIN number. You can do that on the IRS.gov website in minutes for free. What is up, Resurrection Ranch family? I am beyond excited to be bringing you the video and the information that the Lord Jesus has laid on my heart to bring you today. This is literally going to break down barriers, tear down obstacles, and give you access to information that you may not have. And if you are looking to formally start a business, you have a business, but you want to take it to that next level, you just haven't taken it there yet, or you have an idea for a business, but you've never gotten started, this is literally the information that you need to have your business formally set up with the IRS and to get started on your way. So sit down, grab a pen and paper, pull out your laptop, and get ready to be just given some information that is going to literally catapult your business if you just have that seed of an idea and you are ready to plant it. I am going to walk through the steps to show you how to form an LLC and file an EIN number, or file for an EIN number that you will receive from the IRS. That's right. I'm going to walk through the steps that you will need to formally have an LLC, a limited liability company that has an EIN number with the IRS. So you may not know how to do that. There are companies out there that literally charge thousands of dollars to file an LLC for you and provide you with an EIN number. But you can go to the IRS website, IRS.gov, IRS.gov. One of the top links on this website says apply for an EIN number. You'll click there, and literally the first sentence says, use this tool to get an EIN number directly from the IRS in minutes for free. So be leery of companies that charge large amounts of money, charge thousands of dollars to form your LLC and get you an EIN number. You can do that on the IRS.gov website in minutes for free. This is literally what it says on the website. And there is so much more information also available to you at IRS.gov on forming your business, the structure of your business. If you file an LLC, there are different types of LLCs. So you'll need to do your research as to which type you want to be and file accordingly. And that will affect the way you file your taxes as a business as well. So the information is there and available to you, and that is why I'm so excited, because I feel as if I'm breaking down a barrier, I'm tearing down a wall, I'm tearing down a stronghold in Jesus' name by providing this information to you, because you may have that seed of an idea, but you are apprehensive because you don't know how to get started, or you don't know what it takes, or you don't have a lot of information. Here is a lot of information that you can just read through, begin to understand, and get started and file for your LLC. All a LLC is a limited liability company. Tim and I have the Resurrection Ranch LLC. It's a business that him and I own 50-50, and we set up that partnership, and we have an LLC called the Resurrection Ranch LLC. So you can do that as well if you have a business already that's just not legally formed and you want to make those steps and take your business to the next level. I'm going to step by step show you how to do that. Or you may not have gotten started yet. Here's the information that you need to go ahead and get started. You'll be able to file your taxes. You'll be able to have employees and provide them with W-2s. You'll be able to give them the correct W-9 form that they can fill out so they can take care of their own tax liability. You can even do your 1099 employees if you just have seasonal employees or employees that you're hiring for a specific service. You can do all those things, and here I am to provide some of that information and begin to break down those barriers for you. So as you can see, I'm super excited about this and providing this information about forming an LLC. So just be leery of companies that want to charge a large service. Even once you file for your LLC, you also will have to file with your state. Maybe I'll show how to do that in the state of Mississippi in an upcoming video, but you will have to file with your state. The IRS website recommends that you do that before you file for the EIN with the federal government, but that is a step that you will have to take, and you will start to receive mailings that say, hey, I'll file your annual report for a fee, or I'll provide you with these posters or this or that for a fee. Just be leery of those things, because many times you can file those same reports yourself for a very small fee or for free. So do your research and don't be deceived by companies that are just trying to make some money by charging you a large fee for something that is free. Here is all the information. I'm trying to just push it out there to you so that you aren't deceived by these companies. But let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you where you need to go and what you need to click in order to file for an EIN number with the IRS. But one more thing I want to mention before we get started. When you have an LLC, it's a limited liability company. All that is, it just formalizes your business as a separate entity from you. So now you have an entity that has a tax liability. If it's sued or whatever happens, those liabilities go with that company now, and not directly to you. So there's some separation there. You can have your personal assets and you have your business assets. You have your personal liabilities and then you have your business liabilities. So then that if something happens, your house, things you own personally aren't at risk. It's just your business. So that's a very important step, to formally have a recognized business, and it just takes you to that next level of operating your business. I am using an app to capture my screen while I record this video because I want to make sure that you can see clearly all the clicks, and I'm not sure if my camera will be able to pick that up well, just because of the glare and the lighting in the room and the way the computer is set up. It's not really, set up to be captured with another lens shining on it. So I want to make sure that this is as clear as possible. So let's head back to the IRS.gov website. This is www.irs.gov, the main website for the IRS. You go to their homepage here, irs.gov, and right here is a quick link where you can apply for an employer ID number or an EIN number. If you click there, you will see all the information about this tool that is used to apply for an EIN number. I highly recommend, you need to read this information and understand it. Don't just scroll down because you watched me on the video and click it and go through the steps. No, read all of this information. You will need to understand this information. Also, this tool is not available 24 hours a day, even though it's on an online website. It's only available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's extremely important because the first time I tried to record this video, I did it on the weekend. This is our side business. Usually I focus in on homeschool hard Monday through Thursday. Then, Saturday and Sunday I can do other side business type things. So I came out early, on a Saturday, Sunday morning to record this video, and the tool was not available. So note that if you, do your business stuff on the weekends, this will have to be done from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in another time zone, make note of that. And it's Monday through Friday. It is not available on Saturday or Sunday. So make sure that you're doing this within that time frame, or else you won't have access to the tool. So make sure you read all of this information. It's very important information to you as you get set to file for your LLC. There are different types of LLCs, so you will need to know your business entity type, because that's a question that they will ask you. If you've already filed for your state, file with your state to form your LLC, then you'll know that, because that's a question you will have to answer with the state, and they'll ask you about your members, which your members of an LLC are the owners, and your business structure there. So if you've already set up with your state, then you are certainly prepared. If you've already set up with your state, then you are certainly prepared to file with the IRS for your EIN number, but just so you know, your LLC could be a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation, and you'll need to know how you want that business to be structured. Tim and I have the Resurrection Ranch LLC filed as a partnership because we felt that that fit our needs the best, and the tax forms for that allowed us to be, you know, a functioning business and employ people, and it was just the best setup for us. So do your research to see which setup works best for you and your tax forms and your liabilities according to what you want to do with the business. Now, a partnership has to have more than one member. A sole proprietorship can just have one member. So if you are the only owner or member of your company and that's the way you want it to be, then, you know, you'll either have to be a sole proprietorship, or I think maybe a corporation you could possibly be. I haven't done that or researched that, so you'll need to research those things. But that's just giving you the information that I know and understand at this point. So you'll need to determine what your business structure will be, which was pretty simple for us. We elected to be a partnership. So when you've done your research and you know how your business is going to be structured, you know, when you set up with your state, you might file articles of incorporation. That just basically tells how you operate your business. If that business needs to be dissolved, or there's certain things, ways ownership is allocated between the members or the owners of the LLC. All those things are in the documents that you file with the state. Once you've done all that, which the IRS recommends you do that first, once you've done all that, it's pretty simple. These questions are even simpler than when you file with your state. It's a little bit more in depth. At least for Mississippi, it was. So here, once you have all the information, you know how you're going to file your entity, you click here on apply for an EIN. Okay, again, here are a few more instructions that you will need to read. These are fairly simple. They're just telling you about the tool, and then of course you can begin the application. Okay, so the first question is what I was talking to you about before. You will need to select your structure for your EIN number. So are you a sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, an LLC, which yes, you are filing for an LLC, and the type of, you can confirm then once you file for an LLC, you'll need to confirm the type of LLC that you are filing for. So you select whether you're a multi-member or a single-member LLC. You know, a multi-member LLC can be a partnership. So that's very important. It gives you the different structures. It talks about a limited liability company being allowed by the state, basically. So that's why it says that you need to file with the state first, and that'll just make the process a lot quicker, because I think the federal government can pick that up. I'm not sure, but that's how we did it, and it worked really well for us. We just simply followed the instructions on the website like it told us to do it. So here's where you'll talk about how many members are in your LLC. And then you'll talk about, here you'll select your state. And here it tells us you're a multi-member LLC, and it tells you which tax forms that you will have to file. And then you'll need to state why you're requesting an LLC. So there may be different reasons. You may have a sole proprietorship and you want to file an LLC so you can have a separate bank account for your company. That's a reason for banking purposes. You may now, you're a sole proprietorship, but you want to hire an employee. That's a reason to have an EIN number. You may want to file, even though you are a sole proprietorship, you may want to have the ability to set up retirement accounts and retirement funds as a company, and you can do those with an EIN number. So those are some different reasons why you might file an LLC if you're not a new company, but you're already doing business as a sole proprietorship, which is really the default for a single person that owns a business by themselves. So, but say you want to be a multi-member LLC, you have 2 members like we did, and you are starting a new business. Then you click here, started a new business. You click the state, how many members that you have, and that you are forming an LLC. And then you click continue. Okay, so here is where you'll list your managing member's identity. That's very important because just for tax purposes, especially for a partnership where you do pass the tax liability on to the partners, they want to know that you are a real person. So you'll need to put your real identity in there for the main member or the responsible party. If you have a 2-member LLC, either member, if they're 50-50, can be the responsible party, but you'll need to list their name, their role. I just simply say this is the owner or managing member. Yeah, so you'll need to put in your social security number of the actual person that owns the business, one of them if it's a multi-member LLC, their first name, last name, and then elect that they are one of the members. For this purpose, you wouldn't be a third party applying for the EIN. So you would select that you were one of the owners or members or the managing member there, and then you could continue on to the next page. Next, you will be moved to the next section about your addresses. Obviously, you'll know how to fill in this information. I've entered in information off camera about the identity just so I can advance to the next screen because I'm not actually applying for an LLC, but this will allow you to see what the next screen is. So now, very, very self-explanatory. You'll be able to enter in your address and advance to the next screen, which is additional details. So those questions are pretty self-explanatory as well. So let me just advance to the next screen here. I've actually, in order to advance to the next screen, put in a real address off camera. So here is the information next, where you will be asked additional details. Let's see if I can get it to slowly advance. I've downloaded this off camera so that y'all don't know what address I put in. But here, it just asks you some simple questions about your business. So if you're doing business with another name, you can simply put it here. Say you're a sole proprietorship where the business is in your name, but you have another name that you've been doing business as, you can put it there. Then you list your county, your state, and the start date of your LLC whenever you officially started. Then they ask you a few questions about if you own a highway motor vehicle, if your business involves gambling, if you need to file a specific form, this file form 720. If you manufacture alcohol, tobacco, or firearms. And most of these questions will probably be no. But the last question is a very important question. It says, do you have or expect to have any employees who will receive Forms W-2 in the next 12 months? So, if you plan on hiring an employee, which Tim and I did plan on hiring an employee when we filed for our EIN number for the Resurrection Ranch LLC, and so we clicked yes, and then we were able to click continue to advance to the next screen, which was review and submit. Basically, that screen is literally a list of all the questions and information that you have entered in thus far. You're able to review it and then submit it, and it is that simple. You are able then to file for your EIN number. So that's it, y'all. Those are the clicks, and as long as you're doing it while the tool is available. Sometimes there are little glitches with the tool. I noticed that it may say it's unavailable for a minute, and you just kind of have to submit again. Especially if your internet connection is spotty, like mine is way out here in the camper. But we were able to successfully file for an EIN with this tool, and if you need to, you will be able to as well. The information is right there on the IRS.gov website. Any questions that you have usually are answered just by clicking on the information. It is super simple and available to you. So there you go. That's it. That's how you do it. There weren't a lot of hoops to jump through. Like it said at the very beginning, you can file for an EIN number in minutes for free. Probably the hardest thing you will do will be determining your business structure if you don't know it already. You'll need to look at those tax forms. You'll need to determine what you need to do in order to be, if you want to be a multi-member LLC, which type of multi-member LLC. But you can handle that when you go through your state's process. So I highly recommend you do your research there as well. There's a lot of information on the Mississippi Secretary of State's website, probably also in your state as well. So that's it for today, y'all. I hope to be able to put out a video going through the process for becoming an LLC at the state level for Mississippi soon. But we're going to call it right here for today on the Resurrection Ranch, where we declare that dry bones can live. And we hope that this information breathes life into your business, or maybe someone you know that wants to start a business. You can pass this video along to them. Let them know how super simple the process is. But that is it for today. It's the Resurrection Ranch, and it is still all about God. You can operate a business for the glory of God, and one of those steps is to have everything in order. So hopefully this video will help you be on your way to doing that, because it is still all about God. And I will see you on the next one.